This is episode 71 of the Fire Protection Podcast, powered by Inspect Point. Today, my guest is Raquel Gomez with Marvet Fire Protection out in the Palm Desert of California. I've known about Raquel for a little bit now. She started. I knew about her starting her company last summer, hearing her on the Dope and Tape show and a few other podcasts out there, and obviously an early adopter of Inspect Point too. But really wanted to pay homage to her and companies like her that are veterans of our country, and we're going to be putting this out on Veterans Day on November 11th. So I thought that means a lot to me because I've met so many people in the armed forces that have served, and it's really formed our fire protection community. And there's a lot of obviously talent and things you learn from being part of the armed forces. And again, how does that translate to fire protection? So want to give a little spotlight to Raquel here and talk about her experience starting her company. So again, on to the podcast, and hope you enjoy. Thanks. All right, we are live. Hey, Raquel, how you doing?
Hey, good, Drew. How you doing?
I guess this is our first official meeting, right? I've known about you for a while.
It is the legendary Drew Slocum, huh?
Oh, well, you're a legend in your own right. You know, I was catching up from the Dope and Tape show from a few weeks ago, and you were clowning on the clowns, as you put it.
The clowns, those are my boys, my boy clowns. Yeah, you got to keep it funny with them and funky.
I mean, Bobby's opinion on sweats and Crocs are hilarious because he's in the airport all the time.
Yeah. What is he talking? He just likes to, get people, ruffle some feathers. He likes to start a conversation.
You know, I'm gonna have to race my Tesla against his, Mustang.
Oh yeah, for sure. I would love to see that.
He wouldn't have a shot.
Yeah, I love those guys. Good guys.
Anyway, Raquel, I guess tell the audience about you if you haven't heard of you on some of the other shows yet.
So my name is Raquel Gomez. I am owner operator of Marvet Fire Protection, which is short for Marine Veteran. Let's see, I've been in the industry for about 12 years now. I have started my own company. I started about last June, July, launched, and, just been taken off. We're doing inspections, a lot more installations. So we do fire alarms, fire sprinklers, emergency exit lighting, kitchen fire suppression, special hazards, wanting to get into fire pumps hopefully soon. We're trying to expand and grow and learn more in this ever-evolving industry of ours.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, things have been good. Things have been really good.
Well, I mean, you've already evolved. I feel like you're in all the aspects of fire protection. I mean, from alarm to sprinkler to extinguisher and suppression. I mean, there's not many companies that do the full ecosystem.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So right now, I would say probably the only things that we're not doing or touching would be fire pumps and pretty much fire extinguishers. Just because, I think you and everybody else knows the talent out there is it's rare. It's hard to find good people, good technicians, people that really care. And just our standards and our level of professionalism and integrity is, we just set the bar. So to have somebody come into our realm and not really, hold those standards, we just kind of just hold off. If that means turning down jobs or sending those, clients elsewhere to a company that can take care of them, we have no problem doing that in the meantime while we get that talent. So that's where we're at right now. But, hopefully in the near future, we'll be able to at least bring on the fire extinguisher, portion and kind of branch out a little bit. But we'll get there. No,
that's great. So you started this last year, and, we really want to spot yourself and Marvet with Veterans Day coming up, and I guess take us back to your history. Where did you start your career? Obviously in the Marines, and then how did you get into fire and the whole story?
Sure. So I joined the Marine Corps in 2006. I did nothing that was related to this. I was a motor transport operator, so I was driving 7 tons Humvees transporting Marines and and, everybody outside of base. I was in Iraq for a year. And so it was nothing related to this. But when I got out, I signed on with a company who is a general contractor over here in Palm Desert, because I'm in the Coachella Valley in the Palm Springs area. We were doing hotel renovations, and they liked me. So when we finished that project, they took me out to San Diego. We're doing the towers downtown San Diego, the Manchester Grand Hyatt. I was, busting my butt for $10 an hour. And then I saw the fire alarm contractors, and they're like, I guess they saw how I worked, and they said, hey, we'll bring you on for X amount of dollars. You get benefits, you get this. And I'm like, what? Like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Yeah, sign me up. And, so I started doing fire alarm installations, and this was like, everything was, if you and everybody else, I'm sure, knows how intricate fire alarm systems could be. So coming in as green, not knowing anything about this industry, it was very overwhelming for me. But I had a good teacher who's actually my brother-in-law. So, I started doing that, got real hands-on. I was with Diversified Protection Systems, Pyrocom. Then I heard that they had some work up in San Francisco, and I said, you guys need help? Let's do it. So moved up there and kind of just never looked back. Went after my NICETs. I'm now NICET level 3. And then I got into doing fire extinguishers and fire sprinklers. And I love learning. I love getting hands-on. I love getting dirty. And being the only female out there, 99% of the time was a plus. I just do my dirt. I carry my own weight and earn the respect. And here I am, I got my own company, and this was never part of the plan.
That's funny.
I never thought, I'm going to have my own, fire company one day. No,
sure.
My thing was, I've always wanted to flip houses. That's always been like, I want to get in there and fix it all up and flip it. That's what I always wanted to do. And then that was the plan right before COVID. COVID hit, market went crazy, and I was like, okay, let me stick to what I know. And so, here I am, 2024, about a year, almost a year and a half, a little bit more or less, with my own company. And it's been going pretty good. It's nice. There's a very big, veteran community out here in Palm Springs. So, once people hear about that and they catch wind of it, it just catches fire.
No pun intended, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's funny. The industry is made up of a lot of veterans and a lot of armed people that have learned in the armed forces, right? And I've ran into a bunch over the years. From one of my mentors, John Mackey, who's a Navy guy, and even to some of the people at API Group, one of the biggest companies. Oh yeah, right. Yep. They recruit a lot from West Point and other other places as well. So they kind of gravitate toward that. And even way back in the day, I met a guy that was in the Air Force, which was a buyer for the fire sprinkler industry. He was great. Anyway, there's a lot of roots, that started with the armed forces. So hopefully we'll see, and that's not to say that all military are like that, but most military veterans and stuff like that, they kind of have that structure already. Yep. And so that's what I'm kind of looking for, whether they're green and don't know anything about the industry. I think in the near future, when we start really expanding and looking to hire more, that's what I would like to target. So we'll see how it goes, but everything's been good. No complaints. Except that's great.
For just the everyday hustle, everyday hecticness. But
so what made you want to go out on your own?
Just there's this connection that I like to have with people and like clients and customers and everything like that. And as a technician working for another company, I feel like you're kind of limited. Yeah. It's like just go do this job. If they have any other questions, send them here. But just to be able to have that connection with clients and just cater to them in a sense, and just to be able to take care of them. And, that's what I was just really eager for. And so now having my company, it's great because and sometimes it can be a bit much, but for the most part, like it's great having that because a lot of my customers don't want to be on the phone. They want to text. So like now we're on a text basis, and it's helpful for them and it's helpful for me. and they might be my clients, but now we've built like this friendship.
Yep.
And so that's good. And I network with, a lot of companies out here, Redline Fire Protection,
Yep.
TCB, Cord Fire, Desert Fire. We all kind of have like this mutual understanding where we just put the client first. We put the customer first. And, that's good for me. I love that. If I can't take care of a customer, then, I'll pass them along somewhere else just to make sure their needs are met. Or,
Sure.
sometimes there's projects that are specific to something else that, I can't take care of. So just being able to keep the customer first, I think is big for me. And they appreciate it. And that's how it should be, I feel. So
yeah.
Good.
If you can get that, obviously be direct, and we do similar things at Inspect Points, just like we want the voice of the customer, and whether it's good, bad, indifferent, right?
Sure.
It'll improve us down the line.
Sure.
And just by responding is key, because, there's a lot of businesses that don't do that. So.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. I hear that all the time. It's like, if I tell them, okay, I'll get you a proposal by tomorrow, they're like, oh my gosh, really? And they're like taken back by that. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? It's like, oh, well, it's been 2 weeks and I haven't heard back from this company, or they don't follow up, or they don't communicate. Right. It's like, I'm so big on communication. I'm so big on follow. Like, whether you can do it or you can't do it, just let them know. If you're too busy, that's fine, but let them know. Sometimes it's as easy as a text message, so. Right. It's been really nice. It's been good just having that constant communication with people and knowing, what we're good at, what our pros are, where can we improve, just constructive criticism, getting that from people and stuff like that. So just being open-minded. I'm still learning. I'm a new business owner. Yep. Just because I've been in the industry for 12 years doesn't mean that, there's nothing left for me to learn. Everything's always changing, whether it be from, knowledge, the different departments of fire protection, or just, business in general. There's just always so much more to learn. So I'm just trying to stay open-minded and level-headed and, take little bits and pieces from everybody. So
what's your favorite kind of realm of fire or division of fire?
I knew you were going to ask that. Because I was listening to one of your podcasts this morning, and you were asking him, oh, well, so what's your favorite part of fire protection? I always ask this, so I was waiting for that. And just like the gentleman said, that he's not really sure. I'm not sure, honestly. Like, I love fire alarm because of the complexity. Mm-hmm. I like that my mind is like working. I love troubleshooting. Like if you tell me there's a ground fault, I'm like, yes, let's get to it. Yeah. Like, I love to, break it down. And so I love doing that, but I also like getting dirty. I like doing like underground and like digging and, just, it's very humbling. It's very humbling. So I can't say that I like any one thing any more than the other.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I know, and you started in fire alarm, so that's. Is there anything in fire alarm that any new product? Are you guys a Potter distributor?
Potter, no.
No, okay. Is there anything like that in the fire? And fire alarm doesn't change too much, and it's pretty simple. But is there anything like technology-wise that you see kind of coming around that excites you?
Not really. Yeah. I would like to, because I started in San Diego, where, you go to these different cities and the jurisdictions, like the codes are a little bit different.
Yep.
So, in San Diego, we did the high rises, and then I went out to San Francisco and we did like CI cable, like circuit integrity cable, and there's just different codes. But one thing that I would have liked to get into is like smoke control.
Yeah.
Like, I never did smoke control. Like, so I don't really know too much about it. So I guess if anything, maybe that. I mean, not really like exciting, but I would like to learn it. I would like to, but I mean, you don't really see that out here. So, or too much, I would think.
Yeah. It's for larger buildings and definitely high rise, right? Cause the smoke's rising, and it gets into fire dampers and getting, I don't know. It is interesting because it's a whole different realm.
It's very interesting
with the fire dampers, and that gets into some of the fire doors and stuff too, right?
Yeah,
where I feel like fire doors are overlooked so much in
Oh, yeah.
fire protection, and there's nobody regulating them. There's some certain states that are, but I think Florida's pretty big on it. California's pretty big on it. But fire doors, I mean, that causes the spread of a fire pretty significantly. So, you know, the industry's pretty good on fire alarm and sprinkler, and extinguishers. But I feel like fire door gets overlooked.
Oh, 100%.
Just personal opinion. You know?
No, I agree. We recently went to a hotel and they wanted a fire door inspection, and like you said, it gets overlooked. So the only fire doors they're really thinking about are like what, corridors?
Yeah.
Right? And then you open like a door to like a room, and that's also a fire door.
Yeah.
You think about a hotel that has 300 something rooms, that's 300, plus fire doors. Who's regulating that? Who's inspecting that?
Yeah. Who's inspecting?
So it's like, oh shoot, like how long has this been overlooked? And like, where do you go from here, And there's just so much in fire protection. There's so much out there. There's so much to learn. There's so much to know. So it's like when they say like jack of all trades, master of none, that's, really what I am. Like I do know a lot, but there's so much more out there. And I don't claim to know everything. I know I don't. But, you can get somebody who's been doing fire sprinklers for, say, 20 years, and they go do an inspection, but they might not do it as thorough as me because I'm actually reading the books and I'm going by codes and
right.
So, I apply that stuff. And what I always tell everybody is, don't get complacent. And that was a big thing in the military, too. Don't get complacent. You'll get blown up.
Yep.
So it's like, when we're doing these inspections and, we're going in there and we're like, oh, it's just another inspection. And you kind of start to miss things. Right. And you're just going by your little checklist. Okay, this is good. But then you're not really seeing like the full view. So I think that's like a big thing too, and I try not to get complacent. I always try to stay vigilant and kind of like, keep a full eye view. But, over time, things get missed.
Yeah. Yeah. I know some companies, there's pros and cons to this, but some companies, they'll have a few, a team of 5 to 10 technicians, right? They'll switch it up where, every quarter or every annual, they'll send a different technician. So they find different things, right? And it's almost a little competition between them too. That somebody missed something, right? Yeah,
and they'll go, hey, you passed this last time? What happened here? And then, and then that creates conflict. The owner's looking at you like, what do you mean? You guys are the same company that's been servicing me for 5 years. How is this person finding that? And how is this person finding that? So I think, 100%. And I think a solution to that would be to maybe have like, monthly trainings to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Mm-hmm. That's always been my suggestion anyways, is to you have these different technicians that, maybe they're better in fire alarm or their niche is this or their niche is that. Well, why don't you bring everybody together to say, hey, if you're doing this type of inspection, you're helping us out, make sure you're looking for this or make sure you're looking for that. And just so everybody's kind of on the same page with the same, book of knowledge. I mean, you guys are all on the same team.
Right. Yeah, you can do it easily with toolbox talks, right? I think those are important, and it could be all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Where did you get most of your training through NICET and all that?
So let's see. I was supposed to go through the apprenticeship for the fire alarm. I never did that. I just kept taking classes through the union. So I did all that, and then I just kept doing like just online training. Like they had like silent night classes and just any free training that I could get online. I would just do it on my own. And so when I moved up to San Francisco, I was under the impression that I was going up there to like assist in these jobs, and come to find out they're like, oh no, you're running the work. I'm like,
your lead.
I'm like, I've only been doing this for like a year and a half, right? But I was like, all right, well, here we go. So again, trial and error, which, is a great way to learn a lot of times, but it was just like, all right, I can't fail. Like I will not fail. So I would go home. I had no family up there. So I'd go up there. I'd go do my jobs. If somebody would ask me a question, I'd be completely transparent. Be like, look, I don't know the answer to that question, but I'm going to go home and read the books and I'm going to look it up and I'll get back to you tomorrow. And they're like, okay. And so I just earned like, this like respect because I'm not BSing them. I'm not lying. Like, I'm completely transparent. I've only been doing this for a year and a half, but I'm going to figure it out for us. And so I'd go home and I'd read the books and I'd do this, okay, this, and then I would troubleshoot it. And, I just ended up figuring it out. And then from there, it was just like, all right, I started looking into NICETs and I'm like, well, this is cool. This is going to help me too. And, wherever I plan to go in life, this should, give me some good looks on my resume, and it would be good for me and my self-improvement. So I just started doing it on my own, and then I ended up getting NICET 3. So that's pretty crazy. Cool.
Yeah. Wait, you went right to 3?
No, you have to go through.
Yeah,
you have to go 1, 2, 3. But for level 1, like you can do it as an entry level with little to no experience. I think it's like, I don't know if it's changed, but it's like within like 6 months or so, you can go for your entry level 1.
Yep.
And then, the next one I think is like 2 years. And after that, it's like 5 years or something like that, 10 years.
I think back in the day, you could jump. You didn't have to take 1. You can jump. I'm almost positive. I'm a NICET fire sprinkler. I'd probably let it lapse at this point, but on the install side, I never got the ITM side.
Yeah.
However, I probably should just take it and get my certificate. I sit on NFPA 25, so it can't be.
That's right.
And obviously, the platform does NFPA 25 72 pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, those are good. I think they're good. I think we were talking about that with Dope and Tape a couple weeks ago when they were saying, some people do it just for the money. Like if the company's offering like a bonus or, hey, you do this, like incentives, you shouldn't only do it for incentives because it's self-improvement. Like you should want to just go get that so you can be better, so you can expand your knowledge and sharpen your skills. But, a lot of technicians out there won't do it unless, they're getting some type of, So.
Yeah, the more knowledge that you have, it just makes you a better professional, right?
Yeah,
and
all around.
Keeps you intrigued. And, I always, during my career in fires, like absorb as much as possible, go outside the box, Yeah, it's good stuff. So I love the logo you guys got.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't think I've ever seen one like that. So
yeah, nice. I love that. So again, I was Motor T when I was in, but before I got out, I wanted to be a drill instructor. That was like, I was like, oh, they are so scary. Like that's what I want to be. But I ended up getting out and I never became a hat. So when I, creating my logo, I had like this vision of what I wanted. And I sent it to somebody. I said, hey, this is kind of what I want. I want her to look like not mean, but just firm, and
right.
My original actually had the digital camis, the digital camouflage pattern and all that stuff.
Oh, no way. Wow.
Insignia on it, like my rank and all that. And I'm like, I started doing some research. I'm like, oh God, I got to take that off. Like I could probably get sued and I gotta, so I went with all green, took the insignia off and just kept the drill instructor campaign cover, the hat. So then he came out with that. I'm like, oh my God, I love it. I love it. So it's pretty cool. It looks pretty good. Everybody's like,
it's great.
That's me before the tattoos, the braces. Yeah.
You even got it on. I saw it on didn't you have gauges made up with that on there?
Yeah. We got gauges done from Arco. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Everybody likes that.
Yeah, it's always good to, any branding out there that you can do, right?
Yeah, we haven't done very much. I mean, we have like the van wrap and then we have the gauges. But as far as like any other like branding, marketing, like I haven't even done any of that. And I'm kind of scared to just because of like how quickly the company took off.
Oh, right.
And, we're like really busy right now. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, if I put any type of like marketing out there and say like, we're a veteran owned company and I'm scared that the phones are just not going to stop. And like, so we kind of put a halt right now. We're just like, okay, let's find some experienced technicians. Let's kind of, sharpen them up and be ready for that. Cause I just feel like once that happens, it's going to be just even more nuts.
Yeah, it's cool to hear the success story of a startup. I call it startup because that's what Bitcoin it is, right?
Yeah.
and you take the experience and work ethic to that. And funny enough, Pat's the partner. He's the CEO of Inspect Point. He's doing this whole video kind of podcast thing on all these owner operator companies like yourself, but also just a wide variety. So it'll be cool to hear people's stories and how it's been transforming. And again, I think you're a tech, you're a fitter, whatever, you have the wherewithal, after X amount, 5-10 years of experience, probably even less. If you put your mind to it, you can easily do it yourself. I don't say easily, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So everybody always asks, and I always think about this because when Dope and Tape had me on their podcast, like when I first started, and they're like, I was like fresh, maybe like a month or 2 months, right? And they're like, how's the transition been? And I'm like, it's been actually pretty easy, and mind you, this is only 2 months. So like I've been doing some work, but not. And then after that, it went crazy. And I look back on that and I'm like, can I retract that statement?
Right.
Because it has been everything but easy. It's been hectic. It's been overwhelming. It has been just a huge learning curve. I have like books and books of notes, and, there's just so much to it. And I actually reached out to the owner of the company that I was working for previously. And I told him, I just want to thank you for everything that you've ever done for me as an employee, because being a business owner, you see a whole nother side, right? Yeah. When you're an employee, you're just like, well, why can't they get me a new truck? Well, why can't they do this? I don't know why they can't just buy me tools. Right. And you don't see everything behind the scenes. Why can't they just pay me more money?
Right.
Right? They could just give me a $5 raise. They're making money, but there is so much to it. It's like the taxes, the insurance, oh my gosh. And I only have, like three employees right now. Yeah. I couldn't imagine. So I just reached out to him and I was like, I just want to thank you for always taking care of me and for just always being there and just always being supportive. And I was just like, it's just crazy out here. And he's just like, I'm sure sometimes you'll think that it's easier being an employee, which I'm sure it is, but you're going to do great. And I was just like, thank you.
Oh, that's great. That's great to hear. And it's great you actually reach back out. I try to. So, I try to do that with mentors and companies I've worked for too, because at the end of the day, it's just business. You want to have that personal connection and be thankful for it.
Yeah, it's nice to have that support, but I tell everybody, look, it's not for the weak-hearted. It's not for the weak. It's not. I'll tell you what, like you got to be tough skin in every sense of the word, and you just got to go after it. Like I was telling the boys, a couple weeks ago on Dope and Tape, I said you really have to have the dog in you. You have to be willing to sacrifice time, friends, money, everything in your life. You have to be willing to sacrifice. Like, how bad do you want it?
Right.
Right. I mean, my days went from maybe like 8-hour days, 10-hour to like 16-hour days. I go out in the field and I do what I got to do, inspections, installations, phone calls, do all that. And I come home and then I got to put proposals together and invoices and sales and use tax and call insurances. And so it's like my day doesn't end until probably like 11 p.m., And so there's just so much to it. But, I tell my family and I tell everybody, look, my mom's like, you need to take time for yourself. And I'm like, Mom, I'm fine. This is only temporary. It's not going to last forever. My plan is to retire by the time I'm 40. So my birthday is this coming Saturday, right? I'll be 37. So no pressure, but I got about 3 years to give it my all. So, I'm like, I just got to reassure everybody, like, look, mentally, I'm good. I am good. I'm overwhelmed a little bit, but I'm okay. I take a deep breath and I'm like, you got it, girl. You got it. You're doing great. Just keep rolling with the punches. And it's only temporary.
Yeah, you keep growing. You'll hire people, and then you'll get to have a better role. And I think obviously a good track, and you find some good talent. Yeah, and I think you can have a super successful business, with less than 10 employees. Right?
Yeah. 100%. 100%. And so my plan is to hire some good technicians who will uphold those standards. you know, like professionalism, integrity, commitment, and, you know, do what they got to do and love what they do. I want work to be fun. And I want to be that company that pays their employees like top dollar.
Yeah.
Top dollar, puts them through all of the training. Yep. You know, their continued education is supportive. You know, that company that really is like a family, you know, because these companies, yep. You know, people just say that, oh, you know, we're like family, but, you know, everybody has their different idea of that. But I really want it to be like a family where like we do get-togethers and, you know, we get together for our kids' birthdays and stuff like that. Right. And, you know, just like you really build this camaraderie. And that's like, you know, hopefully that's ideal for my company. That's what I want. And I want to be able to give back. I don't want to be the only one making money. That's not fun.
No,
you know, I want people to brag about their job and their career and say like, man, this is the best company I've ever worked for. And I'm here with you, you know, I'm in the dirt with you. So, you know, let's get it. Let's get it. You know,
yeah,
I like to buy example, so.
Yeah. And fire protection is a good feeling. To be in because you're saving lives and protecting lives and buildings and
100%.
Everybody respects it.
It's a great.
Well, I wanted to do this. I've known about you for a while, and I'm really proud of kind of what you built and kind of took the leap. And obviously, Veterans Day is a big deal in our industry and just in this country in general. So, thank you. For your service, and
I appreciate that so much.
All the people I've met out there, you know, and my current friends at home that, you know, from the Navy. So,
I'm sorry.
So I guess where
no, that's awesome.
Where can we find you? Where can we find anything about Marvette?
So I have social media. I am on LinkedIn. I'm not really on there too much. Again, super busy right now. You can find us on Instagram, Marvette_FirePro. We're on there. We got TikTok. Haven't posted videos in quite some time, but hopefully we'll start getting the ball rolling and stuff. Put out some good content and everything like that. And thank you for your software, your platform, InspectPoint. I don't know if I told you, but I started listening to you probably about 2 years ago, when I was doing these long drives and I needed something else other than, you know, country rap and hip hop. So I switched to your podcast and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. You know, I'm actually learning as I drive. So that's how I learned about you. And that's how I learned about InspectPoint. And now I use InspectPoint, which is awesome. I will never switch to anything else. And I'm glad I started with it because, you know, it's just been everything for me. It's like my go-to. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Hopefully it's saving you some time in the wee hours of the night if you're you know.
Yeah, 100%. It's been great. It's probably my sharpest tool right now. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, all the actual tools out there, you know, we won out against them, you know.
Yeah.
Milwaukee and whatever, right?
To Milwaukee, you're a strong second though.
Yeah, it's great. That's great.
Good. No, that's great.
We'll get this out there, and I again appreciate you coming on. And
thanks for having me.
Keep doing what you're doing, and you know, in 3 years, I'm going to check back in because I want to, you know.
3 years. Well, I hope you check back in before that. I hope it's not.
No, I'll check back in before that. But that's that milestone I'm going to be tracking.
Okay.
So.
All right. Hopefully, I got more to say then.
Yeah.
Might be on an island somewhere.
Yeah. Right. Well, thanks again, Raquel.
Yeah. Thanks, Drew.
This has been episode 71 of the Fire Protection Podcast, powered by InspectPoint. Want to again thank Raquel for coming on and kind of getting this Fire Protection Podcast episode out on Veterans Day and really spotlighting, you know, the heroes and people involved in the armed forces within our industry. So again, appreciate her coming on, and please like and subscribe. See you again soon.